All right, today we're doing Math 6, Mission 7, Lesson 13, Interpreting Points on a Coordinate Plane. All right, for our warm-up today, it says label each point on the coordinate plane with the appropriate letter and ordered pair. All right, so we have A equals 7, negative 5.5. So I'm going to do on my x-axis, which is right here, I'm going to go over 7, and then down 5.5, which gets me here. So this is A, which is 7, negative 5.5. Then for B, we're going to go negative 8. So we're going to go over to negative 8 and then up to 4, which gets me here, which is B, negative 8, 4. And then for C, we're going to go over 3, up 2, which gets me here, C, 3, 2. And then for D, we're going to go negative 3.5 up 0.2. And this is D. So that's negative 3.5, comma 0.2. All right, so that's our warm-up. Just making sure you know how to plot points on a coordinate graph. Activity 1, here we go. The graph shows the balance in a bank account. Okay, so this is a bank account over a period of 14 days. The axis labeled B represents the account balance in dollars. So how much money they have in the account or maybe don't have in the account. The axis labeled D represents the day. Okay, so this is the day and this is the balance, bank balance. All right, estimate the greatest account balance. On which day did it occur? So we want on balance, we're looking here, right? Which dot is the highest? And so if I look at it, this dot right here is actually the highest. And so estimate the account balance. Well, we're going to come over from here to here. And what do we get? Between 350 and 400. So I would say, I would estimate that it's probably $375. And what day did it happen on? Well, it happened on day 14. Estimate the least account balance. On which day did it occur? All right, so let's look for the lowest dot, which is right here. What's the balance? I would probably say, well, if that's 50, so this would be 75. I would probably say it's 90. So we'll say negative $90. On which day did this occur? Day 11. What does the point 6, negative 50 tell you about the account? Well, X is day and Y is balance. So I would say on day 6, the bank balance was negative $50. Or we could also say they borrowed from the bank and they owe the bank $50. And your key word there is owe. They don't have the $50. They had to borrow it, so they owe the $50. So how can we interpret the absolute value of negative 50 in this context? Well, the absolute value of negative 50 is 50. So I would say you can't have negative money, so you either have the money or had to borrow the money. So we would say they borrowed $50 from the bank, which can be written as negative 50. Okay. All right, let's look at the next activity. The coordinate plane shows the high and low temperatures in Nome, Alaska over a period of 8 days. The axis labeled T represents temperatures in degree Fahrenheit. The axis labeled D represents the day. So again, we have the day right here, and then this one is the temperature. And this is Y, and this is X. Okay, so I'm going to go through really quick. These are our high temperatures, and these are our low temperatures, okay, for each day. because the temperature doesn't stay the same throughout the entire day. It changes. It goes up and down depending on the time of day, etc. And so we have a high, the highest the temperature went, the hottest it went, and the lowest it went on that day. Okay, that's what we're looking at. So this says, what is the warmest high temperature? So we're going to look at our reds, and we're going to look for the one highest on our graph, which would be this one right here. So what was the warmest temperature? Well, we're at 28 degrees, 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and that was on day one. Write an inequality to describe the high temperatures H over the 8-day period. Well, in order to describe it over the 8-day period, we need to know what the highest temperature was and what the lowest temperature was. So the highest temperature, so H would mean that it was either less than or H was equal to 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Because it never went over, it never got higher than 28 degrees Fahrenheit. So the temperature has to be either 28 or lower. And on the lowest side of the high temperatures is this one right here, and it got to 2. So H would have to be greater than 2 degrees Fahrenheit, or H would have to be equal to 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay? Now, that's a lot of writing. We can write it cleaner like this. We're going to put H in the middle, and we're going to say 2 degrees Fahrenheit is less than or equal to H, and H is less than or equal to 28 degrees Fahrenheit. So it can be as high as 28 degrees Fahrenheit and as low as 2 degrees Fahrenheit, or anywhere in between there. All right, what was the coldest low temperature? Okay, now we're looking at our blues. So we want the coldest temperature, which is the dot that's furthest down. So that looks like this one right here, which is -3 degrees Fahrenheit. B says, write an inequality to describe the low temperatures L over the 8-day period. Well, we know that our lowest, L, is -3 degrees Fahrenheit. So L is going to be greater than -3 degrees Fahrenheit, or L is going to be equal to -3 degrees Fahrenheit. And what's our highest low temperature? Well, the highest low temperature is this one at 26 degrees. So L would have to be less than 26 degrees Fahrenheit, or L would have to be equal to 26 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, we can write that cleaner by saying this. -3 degrees Fahrenheit, L has to be greater than or equal to that, and then L has to be less than or equal to 26 degrees Fahrenheit. So it falls within that range. All right, let's look at 3. On which day or days did the largest difference between the high and low temperature occur? Write down this difference. Well, we're going to have to go up here and look at how much space is in between each dot. So here we go. We have from here, 28. Ooh, no, that was from 28 to 26. That's 2 degrees. This one, we go from 26 to 20, so that's 6 degrees. This one, we go from 21 to 11, so that's 10 degrees. Here we go from 11, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From 11 to 3, so 11 minus 3 is 8. Then we go from 13, oops, what the heck? From 13 down to 10, so that's 3. Then we go from here, 17 down to 7. 17 minus 7 is 10. Here we go from 7 down to -3. So that one might be hard. That would be 7 minus -3, which would be +3, right? Because we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's a difference of 10. And this one is 2 2, -1. So we go 1, 2 plus another 1, which is 3. So the difference here is 3 things. We're talking distance, right? So which one has the greatest distance between both the dots high and low? The largest difference. So we would be looking for, oh look, our 10. So day 3, day 6, and day 7. So days 3, 6, and 7. On which days did the smallest difference between the high and low temperature occur? Write down the difference. Oh, I forgot to do that here. 3, it was a difference of 10. The smallest difference would be right here at 2, which would be day 1. Oh no, it jumped on me. It's okay. We will be able to see enough though. Right here. All right. So that difference is 2. So right here, on which day is the smallest difference? Day 1, difference of 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, please make sure you review your lesson summary.